Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Metropolis Radio. Today we are talking about Star Wars The Clone Wars. And more specifically, we're talking about Clone Wars episodes Disney still hasn't released. There is still a collection of currently unreleased Star Wars The Clone Wars episodes that Disney needs to release someday in the future. Now, I know that this report came out some time ago. It just came on my radar. I did read through it just prior to recording, and I do think there are some very interesting storylines in here. Others not so much, but I do think it is warranted to talk about because, now we know that we haven't really gotten everything Star Wars The Clone Wars related. So let's just dig right into this. Disney still has several episodes of the Clone Wars that need to be released. The recent seventh season on Disney Plus was a welcome surprise for fans and took care of some of the initial arcs, such as the Bad Batch and Siege of Mandalore. However, many more have yet to be completed and remain in the limbo of pre-production with their fates uncertain. The history of the Clone Wars from showrunner Dave Filoni is an interesting one. The animated Star Wars show originally created back in 2008 by Lucasfilm, and episodes were released in association with Cartoon Network, running for 5 seasons until its premature cancellation in 2013. That was a result of Disney buying out Lucasfilm. The result of Disney purchasing the Star Wars franchise, Disney, Filoni, and Lucasfilm would then go on to produce the Star Wars Rebels animated series. However, a shorter 6th season of Clone Wars saw episodes that had already been completed released on Netflix, branded as The Lost Missions in 2014. Additionally, a seemingly final Season 7 was released on Disney Plus in 2020. However, there are still more episodes that are quote-unquote lost beyond those. Back in 2014, when it was believed that Clone Wars was gone for good after The Lost Missions, Lucasfilm created the Clone Wars Legacy Initiative, which sought to release some of these abandoned arcs in some form. For example, the Dark Disciple arc, featuring a romance between Asajj Ventress and Jedi Master Quinlan Vos, was turned into a novel, while Son of Dathomir became a 4-part comics miniseries detailing Maul's escape from his former master Darth Sidious. Even so, while some have made their way to Season 7, several arcs were only revealed in a pre-production state, but promise some incredible stories. Here are some of the notable arcs that Disney absolutely needs to release at some point. The first one they bring up is the Crystal Crisis on Utapau. A four-part episode are known as the Crystal Crisis would have seen Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi venturing to Utapau before Obi-Wan's attack during the events of Revenge of the Sith. While on the planet, the Jedi Knights would have been searching for General Grievous, who was intent on securing a large deposit of kyber crystals that were discovered in the depths, the very same crystals used by the Jedi to power their lightsabers. And this would actually explain why General Grievous and the Separatists chose to hide out on Utapau in Revenge of the Sith, and how the Jedi pretty much knew that they were there. So it gives Utapau a little more. I don't want to say strategic importance, but it does give it more importance than just General Grievous is randomly hiding out in a cave in some backwoods planet. No. There is a legitimate reason why he's there. Unbeknownst to the Jedi, Grievous's intentions would have been to secure the crystals for his superiors Count Dooku and Darth Sidious, as the kyber crystals were also used to power the laser of the eventual Death Star wielded by the Empire. Specifically, with the elements teased in these unreleased episodes, fans can easily see similar concepts in other Star Wars projects, such as 2016's Rogue One, which saw the Empire stripping Jedha City of all its kyber crystals for their super weapon. And the second point they bring up is more of the Bad Batch. Again, guys, this was written back in January of 2021. I don't believe the Bad Batch was released at that point or even teased. While Season 7 did a wonderful job introducing Clone Force 99, the elite team of genetically altered clones would have been featured in a much larger capacity going into future seasons had the series not been canceled after Season 5. Hunter, Wrecker, Tech, and Crosshair would have been sent out on a variety of additional missions after their initial debut alongside their new recruit Echo, and one arc in particular would have seen them headed to Kashyyyk to help the Wookiees fend off the Separatist occupation on their planet. Thankfully, it looks as though many of these long-abandoned arcs featuring the squad will be picked up, as Disney Plus is developing a Bad Batch spin-off series that will see their exploits near the end of the Clone Wars, as well as into the earliest days of the Empire. Now, the Bad Batch did come out, and they pretty much start right at the end of the Clone Wars and go right into the Empire. There's really no in between, unfortunately. And another arc would have been Yoda's good relations with the Wookiees of Kashyyyk. Speaking of Wookiees, Yoda would have accompanied Clone Force 99 to the Wookiee homeworld of Kashyyyk, and the origins of his relationship with the Mighty Warriors would have been explored. Yes, again, why did Yoda choose to go to Kashyyyk in Revenge of the Sith? It's because he allegedly had a good relationship with the Wookiees. When did he form that relationship? There were episodes that laid the foundation for this in Season 3, such as Ahsoka Tano and Chewbacca being captured by Trandoshans, who then allied themselves with the Separatists to take over the planet. However, the payoff of seeing more of this conflict never happened. This arc would have also detailed the spirituality of the Wookiees and their connection to the massive trees on the planet, not unlike a Jedi's connection to the Force, a concept that reportedly came from George Lucas himself. The arc would have also made some references to the Star Wars Holiday Special as well, which took place on Kashyyyk. Another one is Cad Bane, Boba Fett, and more bounty hunters. Talk about a wasted fucking character with Cad Bane. You know, he was introduced at the end of Season 1, then it was teased that he would have a bigger role in Season 2, and then after Episode 3, he is never heard from or seen again. So it's like, wow, I got really hyped up for Cad Bane for absolutely fucking nothing. While the Clone Wars introduced Cad Bane as one of the galaxy's greatest bounty hunters, well, we don't know that because he was only in like 4 episodes. Another 4-episode arc would have seen Bane team up with a young Boba Fett. Not only would the pair head to Tatooine on a job to rescue a child from a band of Tusken Raiders, but the arc would have seen Bane training and giving guidance to Boba, passing on the torch as Bane knew Boba's father, Jango. Other bounty hunters would have been featured as well, such as Aurra Sing and the Trandoshan bounty hunter Bossk. However, the pre-production story reel for the arc reveals that it would have ended with Fett and Bane opposing to one another and locked in a blaster duel. The resulting firefight would have also shown the reason for the large dent in Fett's helmet as well, as it would have come from Cad Bane himself. Again, I think that's a nice touch to, why does Boba Fett have a large dent in his helmet? Was it really necessary to see? I would argue not, but would it be a welcome addition for diehard fans? I truly think so. Then we get to Top Gun with Captain Rex and R2-D2. Another next arc would have seen a rare interaction and relationship between clone Captain Rex and Anakin Skywalker's astromech R2-D2. Apparently, the ground forces of the Republic would have gotten in a disagreement with the pilots, leading to Captain Rex flying a ship with R2 as his co-pilot. However, the pair would have crashed and become stranded on one of the moons of Ryloth, the homeworld of the Twi'leks. They also would have reprogrammed a B-2 battle droid as well. Based upon some of the storyboard art, it looks as though this arc would have served to show off the new ARC 170 starfighters seen in later seasons and in Revenge of the Sith. The impressive ships were a precursor of sorts to the more iconic X-Wings, and the episodes were reported to have some sort of Top Gun feel with a large focus on the Republic's aerial exploits. I don't know how I feel about Top Gun. I'm not the biggest Top Gun fan, but I can see it working in Star Wars depending on what they do with it. If there's actually a point to it, and not just, hey, we're going to show a bunch of cool dogfights with a paper-thin plot that goes nowhere. And then the final one they bring up is Ahsoka's return and Yoda discovering a Sith shrine on Coruscant. Another notable element that was left out and reworked for Ahsoka Tano's personal arc in Season 7 was her discovery of a dark threat in the depths of Coruscant, leading her to return to the Jedi Temple. While Season 7 did see Ahsoka's adventures in the lower levels of the Metropolitan planet, she never went back to the temple, instead heading straight into the Siege of Mandalore to assist Anakin and Obi-Wan before the events of Episode 3. Having left the Jedi Order in Season 5 to walk her own path, this unreleased arc would have seen Ahsoka uncover a danger which would have left her with no choice but to go back. Together with her former master Anakin and Obi-Wan, the trio would head below the Jedi Temple itself to rescue Jedi Master Yoda, who had discovered a Sith shrine underneath. The story would have also seen Darth Sidious attempting to break into the Jedi Holocron vault, but Ahsoka would have somehow prevented him from doing so. However, based upon Ahsoka's reworked trajectory in Season 7, it doesn't seem like this tale in particular will ever come to fruition elsewhere. All in all, it seems as though some of these arcs will indeed become fully formed, such as those pertaining to the Bad Batch, while others won't ever see the light of day due to Season 7. However, stories such as Cad Bane and Boba Fett's duel, or Rex's adventure with R2 seem perfect for spin-off miniseries, books or comic adaptations, or even a whole new Season 8 if Disney and Lucasfilm wanted to. Regardless, many of these Clone Wars arcs should be completed and released by Disney in whatever form they might take. See, I think a better solution would be to truly release a quote-unquote Lost Missions season. You know, none of the episodes are connected to each other. It's kind of random where they fall in. You know, unlike Season 6, where there was a clear story arc of, like, how, you know, Order 66 came to be. No, this one is, you know, these were cut episodes that we were going to do at one point in time, but they were scrapped for one reason or another, and we're finally going to finish and release these, and wherever they fall on the timeline is, you know, wherever they fall on the timeline. I think that would be a lot better than anything else. Do I think it's possible? I really don't know in that regard. I know Season 7 of Clone Wars was received very well, but, you know, depending on how well received their other live action shows are going to be, maybe they'll go back to Star Wars The Clone Wars, because remember, they went back to Clone Wars after the sequel trilogy fucking bombed. So I would not put it past, you know, Disney Lucasfilm to rework some of these and actually finish them up to get the goodwill of the fans back at some point. When will that some point be? Don't know. Only time will tell. And guys, that's pretty much all I've got for you. If you stuck around this long, thanks so much for doing so. And if you've been following me long enough, you know I'm terrible at ending these videos. So I will just see you guys next time.